What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs today in the studio, folks. As always, I got a real treat. Today, folks, author of Game Plan, happens to be the trainer to one of the baddest dudes to ever play the game of basketball, LeBron James. Mike Mancius in the house.
Hey, how you doing, Brad?
And you're local.
I'm local. I'm here in Vegas.
Dude, that's freaking unbelievable.
It's couldn't have worked out any better.
Folks, if you guys don't know who this dude is, I know you know who he trains, which is LeBron James. You can find him at Mike Mancius. That's Mancias 1. Mike Mancias 1 on Instagram. And then write this down. You're always going to want to go get the book, getgameplan.net. Getgameplan.net. So you got a new book out.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I get the, advantage of having you come by and say hello.
Yes, absolutely.
See, folks, when people want to launch their book, you get badasses on podcasts. How many podcasts have you done?
I've done probably a handful, including this one, but
not many.
Not many.
Because you're busy.
I'm busy. I'm still
working.
I'm training.
What do you do? Like, do you just train LeBron, or what else do you do?
No, that's an interesting question. So that's about 90% of my workload is making sure LJ is ready to go. And but I also train two other guys that you might have heard of. The other is NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. He's a young man that I consult with and train in the summertime. And as of 2.5, maybe 3 years ago, I started training Usher. And so it's Myles, it's LeBron, and
Usher,
and the greatest Super Bowl halftime show ever. So
excited. Hey, and then let me ask you this: when I hear training, I'm thinking fitness usually.
Yeah, is
it all fitness?
No. This has really evolved. It's what they call a performance coach, and that includes everything under the sun, from lifting, from running, conditioning, training, everything traditionally. But now it's more about some nutrition, some recovery. Recovery is big now, in the world of high performance. But number one, what a lot of folks get, what gets lost is the mindset, finding that championship mindset.
Hey, let me tell you something. Again, I preach a lot on social media.
Yeah. And
one of the things I always talk about is mindset.
Yeah.
I think people aren't fully aware of how impactful a mindset. And by the way, you have one, whether it's good or bad, you still have one. The question is, what's your mindset? What's your perspective? So how did you learn to be the mindset master?
It's really just trial and error and really putting myself out there, meaning interning, finding the best of the best of what there were in their chosen discipline, and just shadowing, interning. I'll put him out there. Mr. Tim Grover, I worked under him for 2 summers while Michael Jordan was coming back to play for the Wizards his last 2 years. So a lot of that I learned, what to do, what not to do from Tim and MJ, and I'm always grateful for that opportunity. But also working with physicians, working with therapists, working with other amazing strength coaches, in the NBA, in the NFL, et cetera. So it was a lot.
Well, where were you like at 18?
At 18, I was still at the University of Texas Pan American in South Texas. I was still there. I was a student athletic trainer. But 18, 19, I kind of just something clicked, and I said, I want to do this at the highest level. And
just something clicked. There's no story behind it.
Something clicked. Well, I guess you could say the clicking moment was when I applied for a high school job when I just graduated college. That was
with what degree?
With a bachelor's degree in health education and kinesiology. And so I knew I wanted to be in health and wellness, and just teaching folks about health and wellness.
Why?
Because it's in my DNA, it's in my nature. I want to help people, and I want to see people change for the better.
Were you ripped as a kid?
I was healthy, but growing up, I was the short chubby kid, now I'm the short skinny kid, So
I'm just trying to figure out, like, there you were, now you're LeBron James' coach.
Yeah.
Not to mention Usher. He's got some serious celebrity.
He's amazing.
Yeah. And then did you say Miles Davis?
Garrett, yeah.
Miles Garrett.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not the dude that has all the jerseys with the names on the back and I know all the freaking stats of every sports team. Yeah. I like watching usually the championships or leading up to it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I ain't really a big basketball guy. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, me either.
Football I like, but you know what I like a lot now? Hockey.
Hockey's amazing.
But they quit fighting.
Yeah, you know.
If I were hockey and I wanted to compete with the NFL and the NBA and I would bring back fighting. I would encourage it. The stadiums would be packed, bro.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dude, when I first went to the Golden Knights, I had 2 glass seats and a suite right above.
Yeah.
And we were at every single game and there were fights. And it was fun.
Yeah.
Now I haven't seen a fight in 100 years.
They might be cutting back on
now, if a hockey guy got a hold of you and said, "Hey, I need you to train me," generally they're talking about, "Hey, I want you to get me physically fit and operating at a high performance level."
Yeah. Well, if a hockey athlete came up to me and asked me that, I would do all my research. I would do all my research. Who is this guy? What makes him tick? I would say, the physical, anybody can train you. Do 3 sets of dumbbell lunges, et cetera, et cetera. I want to know what makes you tick. And
well, that's what I want to get into today.
Yeah. I want to connect with you. And all the exercise stuff, we can knock that out. But if our interests don't align and you're not willing to sacrifice to be a high performer, then, I got better things to do.
If there's someone out there that's loaded listening to the show, and there's quite a few of those.
Yeah.
And they said, "Man, I want you to train me just because you're fucking LeBrons and Ushers and Miles. So and I have money. So here, I'm just going to hire you. I want you to at least accept my money and add me as a fourth." What would you tell that person?
I said,
I mean, is that possible?
It is, but we need to go for a walk and talk.
Yeah. So you got to figure out who they are no matter what. What's going to disqualify them?
If they always say, if they always come up with an excuse, I just don't have time. I'm just way too busy. Okay, well, it's not a priority for you. Okay, you need to be your own priority.
What if they said yes, all the right answers, you hire you on, and then they pull that shit?
Yeah, well then, that's the last thing. That'll be the end.
Have you fired them before?
There's been a couple guys that have said all the right things, but not really followed through. And that relationship just kind of dissolves.
Okay, so folks, now you know who he is. Had a little upfront chit chat. Now I want to know about mindset.
Yep.
Because the championship, and by the way, the book talks about a proven approach to work, live, and play at the highest level possible. Yes. So a lot of entrepreneurs watch this show. To me, entrepreneur is a sport. Entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
And your mindset matters. Now, I want to give you my 2 cents and then have you critique it.
Let's go.
So I think I have an advantage over most because I'm extremely positive all the time, even maybe in an unhealthy manner. But I think it's because I wake up in the morning and I realize, or at least I've convinced myself to realize, that just waking up is worth more than anything I could achieve during the day anyway, which means opening my eyes and realizing I have another day ahead, or at least seemingly, is the biggest win of the day. So in other words, I wouldn't even accept $10 million to not do that. I wouldn't accept $200 million to not do that. So I wake up every day with something so valuable, and I've tricked my brain into appreciating it. So now everything that's normally viewed as a problem is now an opportunity, and everything that's a problem isn't really a problem. It's almost like you're thankful for problems.
Yes.
So I think that's my advantage. Do you think that's a hack that most people miss, or do you agree with what I'm saying?
I agree with what you're saying, and also I would add this. I would say, find out why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, are you happy in life doing what you're doing? And if you're not, if you're unhappy, if you're generally unhappy, then take a step back, do a self-analysis. Okay, what am I missing? Am I really in a job where I'm just miserable? I'm making great money, but I'm just miserable. Okay, well then we have to address that. How do we address that? Well, I'm scared to go anywhere else. Well, come on, dude. It's the time is now. And you can be happy doing what you love to do. It's not easy. You know, it's going to take some time, it's going to some work and effort, but you can do it.
You got to put in the sacrifice.
Yes. Sacrifice is everything.
So so again, I mean, I wish I was a big LeBron or basketball fan because then I'd have a bunch of kick-ass questions to ask you specific to LeBron, but I'm more interested in how somebody can achieve what LeBron or people like him achieve, the champion mindset, what the book's about. How do you get somebody that's, I don't want to say like, you know, frumpy, but you know, how do you get someone who like just doesn't have a championship mindset? They procrastinate, they make excuses, they rationalize, they blame. They're always, everything's a problem. You ever meet those guys?
Oh, absolutely.
How do you, if they're listening to the show?
I avoid those people.
I know, but like if someone said, hey man, he's LeBron's. I know, but LeBron was a champion, I think, before he met you.
He was special, absolutely.
Just like Michael Jordan,
which
I believe, you know, maybe the greatest of all time, but from what the stats say, maybe not.
Yeah.
Because it is down to stats when it boils down to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's stats.
All these people bicker over who's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Right?
I stay out of that. You know, for me, obviously, it's LJ. I've been blessed to work with both of them. But, you know, LJ's had the longevity.
And dude, from what I hear from our my guy out there, he has the stats. So I mean, again, to me, I don't think that matters. What matters is they have this mindset, both of them. Kobe Bryant did.
Absolutely.
Where do they get those mindsets, and how does someone that doesn't have it develop it?
Well, you have to find out what's going to make you hungry. Okay, find out what's going to make you hungry. Meaning,
how do you do that?
Is there a point in your life? Again, just taking a self-assessment. But some people are happy being miserable. Some people are happy being, you know, perfectly happy where they are, and that's fine, and that works. But if someone comes to me and says, I want to be great, I want to be special, I want to be different, in a positive way, I said, okay, well, let's take a self-analysis. What makes you unhappy? Why aren't you there yet? Why do you feel okay? So you have to admit your shortcomings, admit some of your faults, and then we go from there. All right, and then we build up to go this way, to go up.
So like for example, if somebody, in my mind, it's hard to get someone to change their mindset because of their mindset.
Oh yeah.
So like you might like tell someone that, which makes sense to me because I have the right mindset.
Yeah.
But the people with the terrible mindset want to question what you just said.
Well, if they are happy, you know, the life is about being happy and being you know.
Don't you think happiness is a choice though?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So if you're happy where you're at and what's your mindset, well then that's fine. You probably wouldn't seek me out then, you know, because you're happy, you're satisfied, and you're good. But now if you want more, if you're happy, but I'm just not satisfied, I'm not there yet. What am I missing? You know, the greats are always looking to challenge themselves. Got it? And so you have to, in order to be great, you got to find a challenge every single day, or opportunities, like you mentioned earlier. You know, it's not a problem, it's an opportunity. And if you see the world that way, oh gosh, then you know, the world is your oyster, as they say.
So, Mike, what does your like day look like?
My day is it varies. You know, during the NBA season, I'm with LJ basically 24/7.
So wherever he goes, you go.
Wherever
you're
I go,
on the road.
I'm on the road. I'm at every practice, every shoot around, every treatment session. You know, on
every
the road.
Single one.
Yeah, I'm in his hotel room.
Are you telling him what to eat?
I used to. Now he's got a great chef, and we collaborate. And now he's on automatic pilot now. You know,
so the chef follows him around too?
No, virtually.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Virtually.
Matter of fact, you know, I was thinking the other day, I technically could afford a chef. But man, that's just, to me, in my mind, like, you know, a luxury.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that sounds good. When you just reminded me, I'm like, dude, that does sound good. Having a chef constantly there to cook you everything you want, whether it's healthy or not, it tastes good.
Yeah, exactly. And so and that's a great point that you just brought up. A lot of pro athletes I see, well, I hired a chef. Why am I so overweight? Well, because he or she is only cooking what you want them to cook. You know, the chef isn't really there trying to discipline you on the straight and narrow. The chef, you know, he or she is getting paid by you, so they want to appease you. So, you know, you say, okay, I want chicken wings every night. Well, okay, You're the boss.
I'm going to come back to mindset because again, I want to dive in that one, but I want to ask you some physical, some health stuff. So, like for example, cold plunging, yes or no?
Absolutely.
So start cold plunging.
Absolutely.
If somebody's out there and they can cold plunge, they should cold plunge.
They should They should try to do it every day.
Now, from what I hear, you cold plunge, then you go to the gym. You don't go to the gym and then cold plunge.
Either or. It's
Really?
There's no, I don't have a strict rule by it. Sometimes we cold plunge before practice or before a game, and then sometimes we do it after the game.
What degree? What temperature?
We like to stay between 55 and 60.
So why is it the best? I mean, what is it going to do?
I mean, it helps with inflammation. Number one is inflammation, especially after a game or a hard practice. Pre-game, you want to do it just to get that endorphin kick. You get that adrenaline and endorphin kick, and get you ready to perform. Sometimes we're lax and we're sluggish, etc. I tell you what, you get in a cold plunge before a big event, whether it's a board meeting or a big interview or a game or practice. Gosh, you're revived. You're revived.
Are you allowed to talk about the routines and secrets of the people you train?
Yeah.
So if somebody
to
wants,
some degree, yeah.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to copy LeBron's training, what would they be doing?
Gosh, wake up early.
Okay.
Number
Wake up
one.
early.
Yeah, we'll wake up at at least 4:30, 5:30 a.m. every day, and then start off with something light to eat. And then
Got to eat first.
Yeah. I would, but something light. I would go with some fruit, etc. Maybe some green juice, something light, just get in your system, and then.
So you wouldn't recommend just a cup of black coffee?
If that's what makes you tick.
Well, I mean, you've heard of the carnivore, you've heard of the keto, like you've heard all these special diets. Are any of them like the secret? Carnivore seems to be the one like starting to be the goat of diets.
Yeah, and I respect all diets. Whatever works for you. I always say whatever works for you. If you're trying to copy LeBron, well, he doesn't drink coffee. Funny story about that. We tried an espresso shot before. I think we were with the Miami Heat at the time. And it was a noon game, it was an early game, which he hates. He goes, oh gosh, I get it. It's just my routine's off. And so we tried an espresso shot for the first time. And he felt like his heart was going to, jump out of his chest. He goes, never again. He goes, never again.
So wake up early, 5 a.m., eat light, then what?
Eat something light. And then you start some mobility programming. You start opening up your hips. You start working out without weights. It's just all movements and mobility, which I cover in the book, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
So is that one of the kind you see people at the park doing the?
Yeah, doing some Tai Chi.
Yeah.
It's a great example. Tai Chi is a great example of mobility and just a very, very traditional but effective way to to start the day off.
It's interesting because again, I mean, I can picture just being mobile in weird ways that you wouldn't normally do.
Yes. And what does that do as well? In the morning, you're not going crazy, listening to really crazy music. You're just doing some mobility. You're calming, but you're centering yourself and prepping yourself. So it's meditation with mobility at the same time every morning.
How long is that?
About 25 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, then
number one, where are you guys when all this is happening?
During the season, we're probably at the Lakers facility.
If someone shows up there, because I'm sure weirdos show up and want to meet all the players, yeah.
Well,
the
Lakers facility is pretty secure. Yeah, it's pretty secure.
So when you go in the back door and got credentials and all that shit.
Yeah, we have our badge. We go in there.
Does everybody know who you are?
Oh yeah. At this point in time, everybody.
If you walked in with me, would they say, "Who's he"? Or would you be like, "Hey, Jerry, he's with me"?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's good. He's good.
See, now everyone's gonna be hitting you up.
Bring me down there. Yeah. Take me with you, Mike. Yeah.
All right. So mobility, I like that. I can make that change. What else?
Yeah, mobility. Okay, you've set the tone for the day with mobility and mindset. Mindset meaning meditation. As you're doing your mobility, you're thinking about the day. What do I got? What do I have going on today? What are some of the goals I got? Do I have any challenges today? What's tough? I got a big meeting. I got a big game. What do I got? And so you're thinking, you're prepping already while you're doing your mobility.
And
So
if you do have a game and you do have a meeting, what do? Visualize winning it?
you visualize winning it. You visualize. Okay, is there a challenge? Do I have to defend like a really an all-star? Do I have to defend this really tough player? How am I going to do it?
So really, it's prepare
It's
mentally.
Yes. But at the same time, you're adding movement and mobility to it.
Cool. Keep going.
Yeah. And so, all right, now you got the mobility. Now you've prepped. Okay, now you hit it. Now we start lifting. Okay, now the fun part, right? Well, what everybody wants to do. Now you do the exercises. Now you're lifting the weight,
Resistance,
barbells, dumbbells, everything, cables, all that good stuff, bands. And so we'll do that for about another half hour, 30 minutes to 45 minutes. After that, it's nutrition. Now you eat your breakfast. Okay, the bulk of the work is done. You've already outworked most of the players that you're going to face that night. Why? Because you were up early. You were doing mobility work. You've already got your lift in. You're good. So you've already won, right? In your mind, you've already won. You're not satisfied because the game is at 7:00 at night, but you're already winning. You're already ahead of the game, and
you think that's part of mindset right there?
Absolutely.
So just getting up and doing that, you're like, boom, I'm already a freaking champ.
I'm already ahead of you. Got it? I'm already the guy I'm competing with. And again, we're talking basketball, but this is true in the boardroom. Got it? If you got a big meeting about whatever, and you got some guys that you have to beat out for a big deal, et cetera, a big merger, whatever the case may be, you're already ahead of the game. You've already won. Now just execute.
Do you think being competitive is either in you or it's not, or is there a way to become more competitive?
There is a way to become more competitive. Yeah,
because I know people that they're just not competitive.
Oh yeah. I know a lot of those folks.
Like it doesn't motivate them. Like when you say, whoever you got to crush that day, they think around like, there's no one to crush. I don't want to crush anyone.
Yeah, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm good, Mike.
Yeah. How do they become more competitive?
Have LeBron on the team. That'll help, right? No, but in order to become more competitive, it has to be ingrained in you. Okay, and if it's not, you got to
be born that way.
You have to be born that way. Now, if you have to find a way to do it, there has to be like, I don't know, some trauma. Something has to click. Something has to click because you can't just out of thin air. It's not going to come out of thin air.
Because a lot of people are apathetic.
Oh gosh, yes.
They just sit around and like there's no one to crush. They're happy. Everything's good.
Yeah.
But they need to get pissed. They need to get an enemy.
Yeah.
They need to get like freaking, I forget if it was Kobe or MJ or maybe LeBron or maybe all three of them do it.
Yeah.
But they would purposely make someone their freaking mortal enemy on the court.
Yeah.
Is that an advantage?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have to go in with a target. If you're a predator in wildlife and in sports, you have to find your prey, right?
All right. Okay. So now, by the way, if you woke up at 5 a.m., that's only been about a 90-minute thing there, 2 hours max. Yeah. So it's only 7 o'clock.
Okay. And so you've lifted, you've done all that, you've ate your breakfast.
And it's only 7 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. So you're ahead of the game. So now, if the team has a shoot around, now you go to the team shoot around, which is there in the same building. So you're,
team shoot around. This is just practice.
Yeah. Just a very, very, very light practice. You watch film for about 20, 30 minutes, and then you're on the court to kind of work through and walk through some of the strategy for tonight.
And are you just sitting there watching, or do you get to leave now?
No. I'm there until I leave when he leaves.
But when he's out there doing shoot around, you got shit to do.
Oh, I'm just prepping for tonight. Yeah, I'm just prepping for again, if he needs extra shoes, if he needs, because I also do some of his equipment stuff. So
how much dough does a trainer for LeBron James make? Like, does that? Gosh. How do you guys get paid? Does the team pay you, or does LeBron pay you?
It's really just based on individual. Sometimes we have personal athletic trainers or physical therapists that work for the team, but really just work with one or two guys. And I guess that's where I would be right now. I've done this over 20 years. I've been a member of the National Basketball Athletic Trainers Association. So I'm a member of the Lakers staff. But 95% of my time is devoted to him.
Did they tell you at some point, hey, or did LeBron say, I want that guy for myself?
It was really a hybrid. Probably 20 years ago when we were with the Cleveland Cavaliers, he was looking for a little more. He was looking for a little more work. And so he just came up to me and said, what are you doing tonight? I'll never forget. This is probably 2007, 2006. He said, hey, what are you doing tonight? I was an intern at the time. I said, no, I'm an intern. Why? He said, why don't you come over to the house the night before the game and we'll do some of that stretching stuff that you do. I said, okay, cool. So I drive an hour to Akron, Ohio, and it was a Halloween night, I'll never forget. And so here I am with the family, and we're doing our stretches, we're doing our stuff. And he said, why don't you stick around for dinner? And we stuck around for dinner. And he goes, I like this routine. Let's start doing more of this. And so that was a routine, when we first started. The night before every game, go to his house, do some mobility.
Now, were you shitting
stretching.
yourself?
If I first started and he was my first exposure to a great, then probably. But like I said earlier, working with Tim Grover and Jordan prepared me to be.
Now, where was LeBron when Jordan was in his height?
When I worked with MJ in Chicago in the summertime, I had just missed LeBron. LeBron was actually there working out in the gym with MJ, probably a week before I got there. And then he was still a senior in high school, so he had to report to school. You had to go back to class.
Yeah, so back then he was just a kid hanging around.
He was a kid, but he was
a
special.
good kid.
Yeah. And he got invited to.
How tall was he?
He was about probably about 6'8".
But he was real gifted at basketball.
He was gifted at basketball, and
everybody knew he was going
somewhere.
Oh
yeah, absolutely. From a sophomore in high school, they knew he was going to be great.
And did they recruit him right into the Cleveland Cavaliers?
It just fate. He's from that area, from Ohio, so fate happened that the Cavaliers had the number 1 pick, and they chose LeBron. So he never had to leave home, really.
And so you were there then. So now you saw this kid when you're hanging around MJ, because you probably weren't going, oh, he's gonna be good someday. But now he's good. When does he become shit, dude? It's LeBron James.
Gosh, I mean, he was amazing in high school. He was amazing his first year. I don't think.
Yeah, but there was a minute. There was a time all of a sudden where LeBron was everywhere.
Yeah, it was probably 07, 08 when he could do no wrong. The guy just you saw that development and you saw that leadership quality.
But was that before or after he said, come stretch?
It was after. I started with him in 07 probably.
So do you think timing had anything to do with it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The right time, the right place.
You weren't shitting yourself because he wasn't big yet.
Yeah, I mean he was big. He was the best player on the team at that particular time. And
but not super famous.
Not he wasn't this nowhere near where he is now.
Yeah.
He was famous, but not quite that.
Well, dude, I'm the perfect guy that'll tell you because, again, I don't follow the shit crazy.
Yeah.
At some point, dude, LeBron James is everywhere. Hey, he's the king. He's the GOAT. He's the man. Yeah. And then Steph Curry came out of nowhere. I don't even know where that dude came from. But then it was Steph Curry for a minute. Yeah. But LeBron was still the GOAT. Then Kobe Bryant was in the mix.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Who else in that arena is considered to be badass?
Oh yeah, you have to include guys like Kevin Durant.
Durant, I heard of him.
Absolutely.
See, again, if I've heard of them, dude, they're fucking super famous.
There you go. Yeah,
I don't know everybody on the bench.
Yeah, yeah. Well, at this point, neither do I.
But what if those guys want some stretching help? No wonder LeBron's good. They got all the help.
Yeah.
How come you don't help the people on the bench?
Well, I mean, I really don't see that. I really don't see that hunger, Brad. I really don't see that hunger. If a guy wants some help, he'll ask me.
So a player could say, "Hey,
Mike." Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've had that. I've had other players come up to me and say, "Hey, how come you guys do that? And why do you do this? And can you help me do this?" And I said, "Sure."
Well, one thing Tim Grover told me, because I know Tim.
Yeah.
I love Tim. Yeah. Tim's a good dude.
Tim's awesome.
And he's a good dude.
He really is.
He's a good dude. He's not a, I don't even know the word, but he's a good dude.
Yeah.
So, damn it, now it slipped my mind what he told me. Oh yeah, no, he said to me, Michael didn't pay him to train him. He said, Michael paid me not to train anybody else.
Yeah.
Is LeBron like that?
To a degree, but at the end of the day, you want to win.
Yeah.
And so if it's only one guy doing everything, but the rest of the guys, you keep all the secrets or whatever you have, then, well, now the team's not doing well.
Yeah.
If there's an opportunity for someone else to do really good, you're not going to outshine LeBron, or Michael Jordan. So don't worry about that. Check your ego. The team's success.
Who's coming up though that will be, punking LeBron here pretty soon?
This kid out of Minnesota, Anthony Edwards.
Eventually LeBron will be 61. Everyone will be like, that's the GOAT. There'll be a young kid that's kicking ass. They'll be saying he's nothing.
Exactly. But I think a guy like Anthony Edwards with the Minnesota Timberwolves, he's number one on a lot of people's list right now. And the kid over in Boston, Tatum, he's special.
Jason Tatum.
Yes.
See, how'd I know that name?
Yeah, there you go. See, there you go. He's that good.
Because I got some shoes. Jason Tatum Nikes.
Yeah.
Well, again, I wish I knew more about the specifics to get you like into that. But I like this line of questioning here because I'm going to go home and just start doing some of this.
Start doing some ability work.
After it's already a win, I'm motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Let's compare it to an entrepreneur. They go to shoot around, which is, let's call it practice.
Yeah.
So an entrepreneur would then, start his day, go to his meetings or what? Because you can't practice being an entrepreneur, can you?
No. You can do visualization techniques.
More of it? Didn't we do it right here?
Yeah, but you're asking me if there's a way to do it to practice being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Just keep just keep prepping in your mind.
Because when I equate what you're talking about to another athlete, well, they'd go shoot around and you better go hit balls and you better go, but we're not talking about sports. We're talking about life.
Yeah.
So what's the equivalent of what they're doing? And what they're doing is they're waking up early. They're going to the gym. They're freaking getting their mind right. They're winning automatically. They're adjusting their mind.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they're now going to practice their craft.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wasn't an athlete, I was an entrepreneur. How do I practice my craft?
If you're an entrepreneur, then follow up. Follow up with any leads that you might have for what your goal is in your business. You follow up with those emails. Follow up with those. Hey,
and it's funny that you know that.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something. Follow up is a big problem in business.
Oh gosh, yes.
Especially in the sales world where I came from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you ever have to sell anything, or were you always like a fitness nutrition guy?
Selling, we started a nutrition line a few years ago. LeBron, Arnold Schwarzenegger got involved with it. Cindy Crawford, a little bit. It's called Ladder. We had to kind of sell that as well, and we did. We sold it in 2020. But I had all kinds of jobs. Growing up, I started working. I was in 8th grade. So it was early on. It was a grinding mindset, and so I sold everything.
Well, follow up is a damn good answer.
Yeah, you got to follow up.
And after they're done with the shootout, then what do they do?
Okay, now you add recovery. Now you add recovery, which is important for everybody, not only athletes. So now you go. You've already eaten. Your breakfast. You got your shoot rounds. You got maybe a little cryotherapy, a little ice, a little light stretch.
Does that shit help?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You have to stay limber. And so now your recovery. Now you go take a nap. If you're an athlete, because remember your big meeting, your boom moment is at night. It's at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And so if you in order to perform, but you've been up since 5 or 6. Okay, so you need that little nap in the afternoon. Some guys need 30 minutes. Some guys need 2 hours. All right, because your day, the lights are on at 7 o'clock at night. Nobody cares. You know what you did at 5 a.m., but nobody cares. There's no TV cameras. Your legacy is not measured by what you're doing at 5 a.m.
So if he works late, he's still getting up at 5 a.m.?
Oh, yeah.
If he doesn't, he does automatically. You don't have to make him.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did you ever have to make someone wake up and start doing shit right? Did you ever have to bitch slap anybody?
I have in the past. Yeah. And, it's kicked some guys in the ass a little bit, but the guys who really want to be different and really want to be special, it automatically starts to come.
Yeah, you don't have to motivate
no,
a winner.
I don't have to call him. I don't have to text him anymore.
See, champion mindsets, that's the thing. It's like, to me, you don't have to motivate A players. Like, they're already motivated.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just have to freaking give them the information they're looking for.
Exactly.
So they can continue to win.
Yeah, they're motivated and they're channeling their energy in the right way, in the right way, but they just need a little guidance. You know?
Do you think they all have a chip on their shoulder? Do you think we as people should develop some sort of chip?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think there has to be, again, what is your why? Why the hell are you doing this? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? What just go get a 9 to 5.
How would you coach someone into figuring that out? Because I sometimes ask, what's my why? Because again, I always say my why is money. And they're like, no, there has to be a reason. I'm like, yeah, I just want to be stupid wealthy.
Yeah.
And they're like, why? But why? And I'm like, so I can have all the killer shit.
Yeah.
They're like why? Like, why? I like killer shit. I don't know. I mean, I want, like, when I go to the, south of France, I want to stay in the presidential for 2 weeks and have, experiences. That takes a stupid amount of money, which means you need a stupid amount of money.
Yeah.
And no one says that that's enough. I always say, why isn't money enough? Why can't money be your why?
No, it's individual. Folks who are trying to say, well, no, that's not enough. You need more. You need to really find the root. Well, that's you. You're happy. Money makes you happy. Experiences, that can only be bought through money is, makes you happy.
Decadence, I like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, again, I mean, dude, it's unbelievable. So
find your why. That's your why.
I just can't, maybe I'm not going deep enough. I thought maybe, if you have any kind of procedure for showing someone how to find their why.
Self-analysis. If you do, again, if you want more, if you want to be the great, well, what's stopping you now from being great? If I'm an athlete, if I'm an entrepreneur, man, I want more. How do I figure out, how do I get more? Okay, you've already started because you're
thinking about it.
Yeah, you've already started thinking about it. You've already started that process. Why aren't I there yet? And what's stopping me?
It's a hard question for people, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You gotta look yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself.
Yeah, because I put myself in the shoes of the listener, and a lot of times that is who's listening. Like, when I have a guest, I'm just asking for myself.
Yeah.
When you say find my why, again, I keep trying to, like, I want it to be some romantic why and some, oh, that's beautiful, but it's never beautiful. It's just plain old, I like nice shit.
Yeah.
And I want nice shit.
Yeah.
Well, you got to go deeper. Well, I can't get any deeper. I try to think, and by the way, I'm deadly honest with people. So sometimes it doesn't make me in the best light, but at the end of the day, well, don't you want your children to, yes, all that shit too. But that's obvious. Doesn't every parent want more for their children?
Absolutely.
Okay. So again, to me, that's like, well, yeah, that's a why, but that's not why.
That's a given. Yeah.
I know, but that's not why, because if someone said to me, well, your children will be extremely happy eating macaroni and cheese, living in a shitty house, and their whole life will be wonderfully fulfilled while you guys travel through life as a broke family.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that doesn't make sense.
I don't believe that that's the alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why can't we be a happy fucking rich family?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like nice shit. That's my why.
That's it.
Is that enough?
If you're happy, hell yeah.
And I am.
That's more than enough. You know why? Because other folks don't, they're searching. They say, oh, I need to go deeper. Why?
Okay. What's your why?
I just want to be the best. I just want to be the best at what I do.
Why though?
Why? Because I want to experience what that's like.
That's called getting paid.
Yeah.
The best always get paid the most. Do you never recognize that?
But I think that's a byproduct.
Yeah, but still it is.
Oh yeah. You still you get paid well, but you want to push yourself to the limit. I want to live on the edge, and so it's dangerous because I'm an extremist. I'll do extreme sports. I'll do just some different shit. Researching, pushing. I'll push Lebron to do different training techniques, etc. And sometimes it backfires, and it has. But you know what? It's a lesson learned. There's no way to experience the limit if you don't try to push the limit.
Hey, by the way, the forward's by Lebron.
Oh yeah.
Now, did he actually write it, or did you say, "Hey, LeBron,
Hey, sign here.
yeah, put your name there, make sure you agree with it, and give it to me"? Because a lot of people will ask me sometimes, "Hey, will you do something for my book?" And I go, "Yeah, I'd love to. Why don't you write it, and then I'll, if I agree, I'll sign it."
Yeah.
Because it's easier that way. Or did he actually write that shit?
He wrote it. He didn't write it. He verbally, we interviewed him, and he was amazing.
Well, folks, I want everybody listening to go get his book. That's for damn sure. Make it worth your while.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what I can do to become more competitive. Because again, to me, I need to be more competitive. What else would I think as a listener? I mean, I am competitive, but I need to be more competitive. Like in other words, have you ever, Patrick Bet-David?
I do not.
Anyway, he's in the entrepreneur space.
You got it.
Has a thing called Valuetainment. Came out with a book called Choose Your Enemies Wisely, which basically says, not an enemy like you want to kill him, but like you need somebody to piss you off and push your ass.
I was about to ask you, is there someone that you're not trying to emulate because you're not a copycat? Is there someone that you look at and see, I want to achieve that, but
a couple of them.
I want to kill this guy. Not, I'm not saying it figuratively.
Yeah, 100%.
I want to dominate. I want to show this company that
I want to freaking. I call it bitch slap.
There you go. So find motivation that way.
Or Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not Donald J.
No, not
I'm
Donald.
talking about. Yeah. I want to silently go.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
Yeah. And so you become obsessed with winning and with dominating your opponent. Got it.
But what if there's no chance to dominate them?
Well,
like what if it's some lightweight trying to go up against John Jones?
Hey, even the tallest, largest trees can fall. But just stay consistent with that.
And sometimes it might be true that they always do.
They usually do.
I mean, I don't know any trees that have lasted forever.
No. You last a long time, but you got to, eventually things happen.
So now I'm going to go practice. I'm going to go practice around. Then I'm going to go do recovery. At what point do you say like, okay, now go do what you got to do? Because you're talking about game day, but what's a normal day? Like, where's LeBron right now?
Right now, I believe he's on vacation.
Yeah, so like there's a point in time where you don't mess with it. And then what's this about Whoop too? You wear a Whoop. I wear a Whoop. A billion people wear a Whoop.
Oh yeah, I love it.
But you're somehow involved in the originations of Whoop.
We started with the grassroots. Will Ahmed, our the brains behind Whoop, who started it out of Harvard. We met back in 2000. Gosh, it might have been 2012, 2013. And he just came up to me with a product. We were actually introduced by a mutual friend out of Boston. I believe it was the Fenway Group. And so he said, this buddy of mine said, Mike, I want you to talk to this guy, Will. He's in Boston when you're in Boston. And he's got this, crazy device that he can measure heart rate, all this other stuff. And back then, the only thing was these little skinny bits, like the Fit
bits.
All of that stuff was out. But
weren't they the same thing?
This was different. This was special because it was, you had like your own coach. You had your personal trainer on your phone telling you, hey, if you want to perform tomorrow at a high level, you need to be in bed in 30 minutes. And the other competitors, there was nothing else out there like it. And so it was, okay, you're in the red. You slept shitty, or you did not rest, or your heart rate was affected overnight. Your sleep was shit. And so now.
Yeah, but how the hell do you know anything about that? Like, how can I control my sleep?
How can you control your sleep? Well, you can do the right. You can take the right steps before you sleep. It's all about taking accountability and preparing yourself. Again, that's
like a cold room, dark room.
That's the mindset. Like that. Yeah, that's my. Do you value your sleep? Are you going to value? Maybe you don't value your sleep, but you still value tomorrow. And you know what? Tomorrow I got this big meeting. I got to make this big presentation. Okay, well that starts, just like the game. I got a big game. Game 7 is tomorrow. Okay, what are you doing 2-3 days before that? How do you prepping for your game 7? What necessary stuff are you taking accountability by doing all the necessary things, all the pain in the ass shit that you have to do 2 or 3 days before the game or before your meeting? And part of that is sleep. Part of that is eating well, hydrating, movement, your mindset, meditation, all that stuff matters. And so you ask, how can I control my sleep? Well, you take ownership. Dark room. You're off your phone an hour before you sleep. You just you set the right temperature. You get a weighted blanket. Some people enjoy. Some people like blindfolds, et cetera, et cetera. And so, what works for you? All right, in order for you to propel yourself to be your best the very next day. That's how you prepare.
And this was developed for what purpose?
Just taking a measurable number and giving yourself feedback on your body, on your person.
So did LeBron have to wear one?
I put it on LJ a few times. The NBA.
Did you ever get any bad, or not bad, but like false readings?
No. It's been very, very accurate. I had LJ wearing it during the inception. Gosh, over 10, 12 years ago. So
because sometimes I'll go to the gym, and work out pretty hard, but not like panting.
Yeah.
And it says like the next day when I get the readings, it's like, your strain was a 12.3.
Yeah.
And I lifted like hard.
Yeah.
But I didn't do any cardio. And then I walked on a treadmill for an hour and my strain was 18.9. And it's like, listen,
well,
that was not more strenuous than that. So I don't know what the hell it's reading, but I'm assuming it's a heart rate.
Absolutely.
So how can someone have an 18 heart rate from walking?
Well, that's again, that's all individualized, to you. Maybe you think you're in great shape.
Dying?
What's that?
Does that mean I'm dying?
No, hell no. No, it just means, you might think you're in great shape. Your body says, okay, well, there's some work to do.
Yeah.
It's not all about aesthetics and how you look in the mirror. You look great, but your heart can be, Jesus, help me out here.
What about running? Do you think that's good for people?
If I don't enjoy running. I rather do something like the VersaClimber to really challenge me, because running, I just don't enjoy.
About wind sprints.
Now sprinting, I will enjoy. I will do that, but you got to make sure that your base is covered. Meaning, you got to make sure that your hamstrings, your quads, your hips, your glutes, everything is strong enough and flexible enough for you to handle, for your muscles to handle you sprinting. I'm not gonna be a 45-year-old guy that doesn't work out. You know what? I'm gonna do sprints today. Oh, because that's just a recipe for disaster. Now you're talking hamstring strains, glutes, calf. Now your feet start hurting, and then all that energy that you had, all that motivation. Well, now you're in the sofa for the next week and a half, et cetera, because you can't move because your hamstring is pulled or strained.
So sprinting, like when you were a kid, you could just sprint.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's exactly. Not the same when you get older.
You can get out of bed and just go.
What do you think about TRT replacement or TRT replacement?
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Because there's nothing you can. There's certain exercises that will help sustain T. It's squats, it's deadlifts, it's bench press. All the big three, the big traditional guys that lifts that we all enjoy doing. Those are great for testosterone.
Yeah,
got it. The bench press, the squats, and the deadlifts.
How important are squats, you think?
Oh, they're vital. They're vital.
Dude, that's something I hated all my life, and I very rarely did it, and I'm weak as shit. And it's like, dude, that's how you get your core strengthened.
Absolutely.
I got to get to the freaking squat rack.
You got to get to the squat rack. Yeah.
I do the leg press and all the shit, and it's like someone's like the other day, they're like, "That's not the same." I'm like, "Damn it, I got to do squats."
No, because squats engages the entire body. And Stan Keller's an amazing strength coach. When I first started with Cleveland Cavaliers, he told me this great line. I don't know if it was his originally or not, but Stan Keller told me this great line that said, "You can't shoot a cannon from a canoe." That means your base, your legs, your hips, your glutes, that's got to be strong and solid. If you want longevity in just daily life, you got to work your legs. You got to work your glutes. By the way, and I was going to ask you, but you had all these microphones set up. I don't like to sit down. And I'd sit down when I eat, and that's about it. I hate to sit down, to sit on the couch to talk. I hate that.
Why?
Because you're deactivating your core. You're deactivating your glutes, your legs. You're not grounding with the surface. You burn more calories when you sit, stand, walk, etc. And your core is always engaged. If you're doing it the right way, your core is always engaged. So sit less. I would say we sit on planes, we sit on buses. You know, I sit at games. I'm there behind the bench, sitting for 2.5 hours. You know, I want to get up and go. So I love going for walk and talks. That's also what I would recommend to folks. You know, don't have sit down meetings. What the hell for? You know,
just walk and talk.
Yeah, walk and talk. Go.
Even if it's like you're in my office, like I'd say, come on, and we'd walk just around the lake.
Just walk. Yeah, absolutely.
Talk.
You're burning calories, and you're connecting with that person.
Yeah, but what if you get done talking and you're, you know, quarter mile out?
Hey, turn around. You know, you have to manage. You have to plan it well. All of a sudden, we're down at the strip.
Hey, what about nutrition now? That's the last. To me, fitness is about nutrition and exercise.
Yeah.
Now, mindset is very important, but nutrition is also important because I think abs are made in the kitchen. Would you agree?
I agree.
So what is the best and latest and greatest diet that someone is wealthy and resourceful with all the things that they would give LeBron to keep him freaking in killer shape?
Yeah.
You included.
Yeah.
You're part of that.
Yeah.
What's his diet like? Like what should we be eating as human beings if we want to operate at a high performance?
And you've heard this growing up as a kid, just stick with balanced foods. And, you know, protein, fruits, and veggies. That's it.
Because there's people out there arguing that vegetables now cause inflammation.
Well, some do.
So it's eat steak and eggs. That's all you're supposed to eat.
If it works for that individual, you know, try it out.
So you're one of those guys that basically says everybody's different, because that's what I always say.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And everybody is different.
Absolutely.
They got different blood types. They got different backgrounds. They got different DNA.
That's why it's very hard for me to you know, if a guy, you know, this uber wealthy guy comes up to me and says, Mike, I'll give you $1 million or whatever if you train me just like you do LJ. Okay, well, all the exercise, all that stuff is to the side. What makes you tick? What is your day like? Tell me what your day's like. Tell me what your week's like. What's your month? How'd you do last year? You know, it's a ton of questions first. I need to figure out your ecosystem, okay? Because you're not LeBron James. You're not Myles Garrett. You're not Usher. Those guys have to perform, you know, at the physically, you know, with the highest competitors in the world. But so do you, but in a different world, right? So what is your ecosystem like? How do I set How do I set up your ecosystem? Got it? In order for you to be a high performer. So it's a lot of research. It's a lot of questions, and it's a lot of walk and talks.
Do you do a lot of walking and talking with your players?
Absolutely.
Do they tell you like issues too?
Oh yeah.
So you're like a confidant and a friend.
I have to be.
You can text LeBron right now if you want it.
I can text him now.
Would he text back?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, text that motherfucker and tell him, come on my podcast.
So Mike, why are you texting me on vacation?
Well, I wouldn't even know what to freaking ask his ass. When I look at these guys like that are kick-ass athletes, I want to know about stupid shit. Like, you know, everywhere you go, is there chicks, you know, throwing themselves at you? You know, what's it like being able to freaking, you know, go do these things? Mm-hmm. I always want to know, like, what is it like for them to be that famous?
Yeah, we have great conversations about experiences, and you know, what was that like? I always ask them too. You know, what was that like? How did it make you feel? And does that take you back to when you were a kid? You know, you came from humble beginnings. A lot of the guys did.
Yeah, but now everybody kisses his ass, doesn't he? I mean, like, if I had a confidant and everyone kissed my ass constantly, like I'm sure they do his.
Yeah,
I would have somebody that knows me well, knows whether I like that or don't like that. Like, in other words, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, any of these people, they're just people, man.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, LeBron's just a dude.
Correct.
And he has his, you know, preferences. Mm-hmm. There's people out there that probably kiss his ass because he's who he is. And he, deep down, despises that. Like, he just wants to be a normal dude sometimes, I bet.
He's very genuine, and he can see through the bullshit. He can read just like MJ could, just like Miles does. Like, you know, all these guys who are in that upper echelon, they can read through some of the BS.
What do you think makes them all different? How can they read through the BS?
Well, I think because they've been doing this a while. You know, LeBron's been doing this 20 years. Jordan's been around the block. You know, he was in the NBA for pretty much 2 decades. You know, the longer you do it, at the ultimate, the highest level, then you're going to be able to learn how to cipher through all the BS.
Oh, damn. You got recipes in here.
I got some recipes, yeah, from
strawberry cherry
paleo chef.
recovery smoothie.
Oh, yeah.
Cherry chocolate chip walnut granola bars.
Yeah.
Where did like you just made these recipes up?
No. I collaborated with a really, really great chef out of Los Angeles, paleo chef Mary. She's amazing, and all of her info and bio stuff is in the book as well.
Turkey meatballs and spaghetti swash.
Oh yeah.
Chicken and avocado quinoa power bowl.
Oh yeah, man.
Dude, I'm starting to get hungry.
It's good stuff. Yeah. See, if you had a chef, you can just give him the book and say, follow this.
Intermittent fasting.
I love it.
You agree with that?
I love it. I would go as far as saying once a week, just fast. Have a day to reset your mind. Have a day where you don't eat anything. You drink water, hydrate, which is I preach that in the book.
Hydration.
Hydration.
How important is that?
It's I don't want to say it's everything, but it's everything.
I had an anti-aging lady in here once, and I said, "What's the best way to stay youthful?" And she said, "Hydrate, hydrate."
Yes.
Hydrate.
Yeah.
Fillers, Botox, all the shit. She said, nothing's better than just making sure you stay hydrated.
I say two things: hydrate and sleep.
Oh, yeah. Sleep's pretty important, too.
Yeah.
I can't get it, dude.
Yeah.
I go to bed at around 11,
yeah,
and I wake up at 5:30 every single morning,
yeah,
whether I'm tired or not. Like I went to bed at 1, and I wake up at 5:30. And when I wake up, it's like I get instantly excited. I almost trick my brain. It's like, what's the dogs, the bell ring and the Pavlov?
Pavlov,
yeah. So like it's like that. It's like I tricked myself to where when I wake up, I get immediately enthusiastic and excited to get the day.
Yeah.
That's my hack.
Yeah. And that works for you.
It works for me. But at the same time, when I wake up, I can't go, no, I'm still tired. I'm going to go back to sleep. I think to myself, dude, I got to go.
No, because there's someone out there that's just as hungry as you are, who's up and moving as well.
So I open my eyes, and it's like, once I realize, damn, I got another one.
Yeah,
I'm out of bed. I'm up, and guess what I'm doing?
Let's go.
I'm gonna go. I call it elevate the heart rate. Just means just do something, bitch. Don't sit around. Don't not do anything. You have to go work out.
Yes.
I'm gonna start doing what you just said, mobility.
Yeah. So I have a complete mobility plan in the book as well, and I got a QR code in the middle of the book that shows you videos on how to do it. Because when I did the book, I got pictures of all of our fitness model doing everything, but I wanted to answer questions, from the folks who are purchasing the book. Hey, should my arm be here? Should my leg be here? Well, you know what? Here's a video of how to do all these things, and that's free. That's on the QR code.
Oh, nice. So, but the mobility will get me. It's almost like Tai Chi.
It's almost like Tai Chi. It'll get you moving, and it'll build a base for your current workout.
The older you get, the harder it is to stay mobile.
Absolutely.
Is that a true statement?
That's true. It can be preventable though by movement is medicine. Remember that movement is medicine, and so.
And I'm telling you, you see those old men that go like this. It's because they stop moving.
They stop moving. Yeah.
How do you get that way? Well, sometimes I'll play Call of Duty for 6 hours straight on occasion.
Yeah.
Why? Because, dude, I'm so busy and my brain's constantly working. Sometimes I just want to unwind and shoot people.
That's your recovery.
Yeah.
That's your recovery.
So when I do get on for a little session, I'll sit there for 6 hours and then I'll jump up right after 6 hours of not moving. And you can kind of feel like, oh shit. Imagine if you did that for years.
Yeah. I mean, or if you had an office job where you were sitting on your desk for 8 hours a day, and there's people out there, with that. And I say I would say ditch the chair. I hate this whole gaming chair thing.
What about
around you can stand up and game?
Yeah, I mean, I had a stand-up desk that you could walk.
Oh, that's perfect.
It just looked foolish, and then I always wanted to sit down. And sometimes there was some reason to sit down, and I'm like, damn it, screw this desk.
Yeah.
So I moved it to the side, then it eventually found its way out of my office.
Yeah. Or if you're going to sit, then just get one of those exercise balls and sit on that. That way you're always moving. You're engaging your core, your legs, because you're afraid you're going to fall down, right? So you're always engaged. You're always up. Your posture's always engaged.
But can't you just hit the gym in the morning and be fine?
You can, but remember, I'm an extremist.
I was going to say, that's a little extreme.
Yeah,
Constantly be worried about your core.
Be moving. Well, that's better than, having needing back surgery when you're, 40, 45, 50. And
but if you're doing the mobility thing in the morning and hitting the gym, you should be fine.
Should be fine. But again, you got to push the limit.
If I ever see LeBron sitting, I'm going to go, LeBron, you heard him. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Do you tell him the same thing?
Oh, he's when he does sit, it's either on a physio ball or at games you'll see him with the hip elevated. We have these special cushions that are made in Japan, and you have to and they're slanted at an angle, so your hips are always up. Your knees are always below your hips, so you always have to work on your posture, even while you're sitting during the timeout, when he's getting some rest. And so, again, when he's sitting, you have to be sure that you have great posture.
Well, I could ask you, health questions for a while because I'm on a journey. I'm about to go get shredded up.
Beautiful.
So right now I just chose carnivore because it was easy, but everyone's talking me out of it. And every time you start to go down a road, people talk you out of it. But steak and eggs to me is great. And you start to see all the videos where inflammation went away. This guy's arthritis went away, and they lost a bunch of weight, and they have energy like it's going out of style, and mental clarity like it's going out of style, and everyone's telling them, no, that's bad for you. It's bad for you.
No, if it works for you, you're absolutely fine. Now,
no carbs and no sugar is what works for me.
Yeah. Which quite honestly, you asked me earlier what LeBron does and does not do. Well, carbohydrates he needs for energy, for sustaining performance. Sugar is one thing that we're really cutting out a lot on. As we've done this, the longer we do this, sugar is one of those things that you kind of have to cut out.
Obviously, he could fire you if he wanted.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't have to use you.
No, he doesn't.
So, do you ever get
Don't
worried?
give me any ideas here.
I know, but do you ever get worried because you're like, "Hey, dude, we need to cut back on the sugar," and he basically says, "No."
You meet in the middle.
I'm having Starbucks coffee ice cream.
Yeah, actually, his main vice, and he said this openly. His dessert or his evil meal, if you will, his cheat meal is chocolate chip cookies and vanilla ice cream. And we've had that, and then sometimes we have to cut that back. But his chef does a great job of monitoring that.
But he never pushes back on your advice.
Oh no, sometimes he does. So I have to.
What do you say?
I have to be armed and ready for the questions. Well, why not, Mike? Well, who says that, or where's that listed? I said, well, here are examples of why. So if I ever have to come up to him about something that I know he's gonna have some pushback on, I have to come armed and ready, like I said, because he's a very cerebral guy. He's gonna ask me questions. He's not just okay, cool. He's gonna say, well, why not?
Do you follow the same morning routine?
I do some of it, yeah. I do mobility work in the morning, and like I said, I don't go for runs. I used to, but now I just love the VersaClimber. I don't get paid by them. But
wasn't LeBron coming out with his own one of those?
I don't know if it was his own, but he and I, we love it. We love the VersaClimber. Why? Because it's challenging. It's not easy. The treadmill for me just doesn't do it.
The VersaClimber is just the one where you step?
Yes.
Why is that so hard?
Yeah. Well, have you tried it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can.
It's tiring, but so is running. So is everything else.
Yeah. Well, it's no impact on the joints. So number one, I love it. As the older you are, I love running is just like all this impact on your joints and your low back, especially if you're not ready to the sprint work. If you're not, you cannot get in shape. You can't start off by just running. If you're out of shape, if you're a little heavy, you want to go running. Okay, well now the low back's going to start bothering you. Your feet, your ankles, your knees, your hips, etc. Because you have to train in order for you to start running the right way.
So if you had to go run 1 mile,
I could do it.
Well, what's the fastest mile you think you could run
right now? Oh hell, I don't know, 8 minutes.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah, but I'd be miserable. But
yeah, well,
I got to get it done.
Yeah, well, someone's trying to convince me just go running, and it's like, dude, I get shin splints. I don't like running.
Yeah.
What else can I do besides running this killer? Just a VersaClimber? What if my gym doesn't have one?
VersaClimber, swimming.
What if I don't have a swimming pool?
Then go sprint walk.
What about, I was trying to lead you to Stairmaster.
Yeah.
What about those Stairmasters?
Stairmaster is good. Jacob's Ladder is another good one, another challenging one. But again, for all the sprinting and the running, you have to train your muscles in the weight room first and do the mobility work before you go out there and just start running and sprinting.
Okay, and then last question, like why the book? Why'd you decide to write a book?
I thought after 2 decades of doing this at the highest level, I thought it was time to share my experience, to share some knowledge, and I did it, to help folks, not only pro athletes, but to help everyone, from college athletes to mom and dad. I believe that there is a path to longevity, and we've experienced it, trial and error, 20 years, and you know what, guys, here it is.
And it's hard to believe you're 77.
Yes, because I stay hydrated.
It's working for Mike. Folks, go get the book, Game Plan, Mike Mancias. You can get it anywhere, Amazon, Barnes and Noble,
yeah.
Or better yet, go to getgameplan.net so he don't have to pay Amazon and all those fools a cut. Just go to
Jeff's got enough money.
Yeah, go to getgameplan.net.
Yeah.
Mike, I appreciate you coming in. Folks, as always, follow this gentleman at Mike Mancias1 on Instagram. Go DM him a bunch of questions.
Yes.
At least blow him up to let him know that you heard him. Tell him the Bomb Squad sent him. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Folks, take some of what he said and go get it done. That morning routine's gold. Until next time, keep it real.